The following program is the work of the broadcast students at the British Columbia Institute of Technology. BCIT Magazine features news stories from around the Lower Mainland which were produced over the last week. Responsibility for the content of the show rests completely with the students and their instructors.
Coming up on BCIT Magazine, hundreds protest to save a Surrey Park.
A Burnaby resident fights to build a laneway home.
And volunteers band together to clean up Richmond's shoreline. Welcome to BCIT Magazine. I'm Trevor Knapp.
And I'm Katy. Burnaby RCMP were on scene Tuesday at a sushi restaurant where they say multiple people were stabbed. Gurneet Samra tells us what police know so far.
Yellow police tape surrounds this high-end sushi restaurant. It's now the scene of a triple stabbing. Police say a man was killed inside Oyama Sushi, while two others are recovering from minor injuries. This street corner remained closed for most of the day as police gathered evidence. Burnaby RCMP say a suspect was taken into custody.
Investigators quickly responded and an alleged male suspect was arrested a short distance from the scene.
While police combed the area for clues, they're providing few details on what happened.
At this time, police believe the attack was not targeted, but police safety is not a concern. Anyone with information regarding this investigation can call the iHit information line at 1-877-551-4448.
The Integrated Homicide Investigation Team has been called in to take over the case and perhaps put the pieces together. Gurneet Samra for BCIT Magazine.
Our reporter Gurneet Samra joins us live. Gurneet, do we know if the public is at risk?
Well, Katy, Burnaby RCMP say that this was not a targeted attack. They have a suspect in custody and they say that the public is not at risk. Katy?
Gurneet, do we have any information on the victims?
Police have not identified the victims just yet. What we know so far is that one of the victims died of his injuries while the other two are recovering. And also, back to you.
Environmentalist David Suzuki is helping locals protect a Surrey Park. Danielle Carr reports on how residents are taking on City Hall.
Hundreds of Surrey residents rallied on the weekend to try to save this park. They're collecting signatures to stop the city from building a road.
And it's going to go right straight through Hawthorne Park, right at the headwaters of Bonnecourt Creek, right where there's a 5,000-year-old peat bog.
David Suzuki took to the podium to lend his support.
The right to a healthy environment. We believe every Canadian should expect that this is a guaranteed right.
Those using the park don't think the road is a good idea.
There's no reason for it to be a road through it when it's kind of like one of the only nature parks in Surrey.
I live in Guildford, and so one of my favorite walks is to walk over to Hawthorne Park.
But the city says the road is necessary.
Having traffic move as opposed to people in vehicles and not moving, having greenhouse gases spewing, has to be avoided. So when I think about the road as it goes through, it makes, as we grow as a city, better.
So far, protesters have over 10,000 signatures, but they'll need another 20,000 by Friday to stop the road. Danielle Carr in Surrey for BCIT Magazine.
Feminine hygiene products are costly, and many marginalized women struggle to afford them. Yanela Marcoux talked to a UBC student group trying to help.
At UBC, Zeba Khan and her associates have set up their booth to try and gain support for their club and their idea.
think that this is an issue that exists globally, but it's not talked about due to the stigma that's associated with topics of menstruation.
Period is out to break the stigma surrounding menstruation and provide free hygiene products to marginalized groups.
I really wanted to make a difference and make it available to everyone because I truly believe that having access to menstrual hygiene products is a right.
The club holds packaging events where bags containing menstrual products and soaps are put together.
Menstrual hygiene products are relatively cheap, so about a $2 donation helps us provide a free menstrual hygiene care package to one person.
Neha Bachwani helped organize the last packaging event.
It's really heartwarming because like 25 or 30 of us, we come together and we have to like take this like tampons and pads and put it in brown paper bag and write like a really cute small note for these women around.
Once the packages are complete, they are picked up and taken to Period's community partners, one of which is the Bloom Group, a women's shelter on the downtown east side. Members of Period currently distribute around 1,500 packages a month, but they'd like to increase their impact.
100 already sounds good, but the thing is inside these packages we don't really like, yes, we do give like 10 pads and a couple of tampons. I'd like to give more to this woman. Even though we're in a developed country, I feel like there are a lot of people who are still like they're not comfortable talking about menstruation in general. And like if you see right now, like a lot of people just come in, check us out, and just leave because they're shy or they think like there's a stigma around talking about menstruation. And I like to like open that up.
Yunela Marcoux in Vancouver for BCIT Magazine.
Vancouver's music scene is slowly developing a more diverse voice. Selena Ho has the story of an artist who uses her music to promote diversity.
Local artist Sunny Chen is releasing a music video to empower more women of color to pursue their dreams on Vancouver's nightlife music scene.
We grew up watching cartoons, watching TV shows on Family Channel, Disney Channel, YTV, and I feel like I've had to relate to white families and try to like fit myself into white family narratives and white narratives. But I just wanted to include all of these women of color that I've met throughout the years and also to reach out to new ones. Mainstream media doesn't present women of color in a three-dimensional way. We're usually stereotyped or we're excluded.
Most major event organizations also encourage diversity in local talent.
Now that I'm thinking about it, I don't see a lot of Asian contributing to the nightlife scene. Honestly, because Vancouver is home to many cultures, the culture is not necessarily unified, and I think that isn't the fault of just one person. I think it's the fault of everyone.
Kay and Chen are two of the few powerhouse Asian women in the local scene.
There's a lot, like I've seen a few on media, social media, like on Instagram and stuff. There's a few Asian female DJs, but in Vancouver specifically, like 20.
Sunny Chen hopes her music will inspire other Asian women to build their music careers. Selena Ho in Vancouver for BCIT Magazine.
Coming up on BCIT Magazine, friends and family of a slain Surrey teenager honor her memory.
And some post-secondary students are missing out on Terry Fox runs.
The most rewarding thing for me has been the relationships I developed in the program, both with instructors and classmates. My sense of confidence has never been higher. I mean, this program's offered great opportunities to be in real industry situations, and being in those moments and knowing I can contribute, I can do this.
It's exciting to be in this industry and to meet lots of great people and to make amazing friends.
BCIT Broadcast and Online Journalism, realizing your potential.
A defining moment for me was when I finished my first internship and got lots of really great feedback from industry professionals.
I would have never imagined I'd be walking into the floors of TSN and thinking, I'm not a student anymore, I'm here to work.
I will be starting a job with an investigative news program in Toronto, and I'm really excited to see that grow into what will become, hopefully, my dream job.
BCIT Broadcast and Online Journalism, putting you to work.
Researchers at BCIT are creating a 3D printed and eco-friendly cranial band for babies. The band is used to correct plagiocephaly, a condition caused when a baby's soft skull or face is flattened. Baby Jaden has been coming to the pediatric head shape clinic since he was 5 months old. The band takes about 30 hours to print, band-based materials, and is lighter than traditional helmets. The Snug Cap is medically licensed in Canada, and the team hopes to establish its presence in more communities.
We knew it was a pretty neat alternative to the traditional 23-hour day, but it even surprises us how receptive families are to it.
This was at our grad in 2015.
BCIT School of Health. Thanks for being with us today.
Thanks for having me.
So, Jason, in addition to printing baby headbands, you also use 3D printing for other uses. Tell me about that.
Well, the technology is truly disruptive to our profession, so we're really sorting through how we apply it in the patient setting. And so I brought a few examples for you today. One would be for a patient who's lost their limb below the knee. So we can use the technology to print the interface where they step into to provide the connection with their prosthetic foot. So this technology is really important because it can help change the way we provide care, not just how we look at the care. So for example, in developing countries now, the backlog for technical prowess of getting this technology onto patients can be streamlined, so we can get on patients much quicker. However, we need more prosthetists in those areas to help with delivery of care now. So lots of ways that we can use this technology. We're still sorting through all the details for sure.
Okay, can you tell me about the other tools we have here?
So, like I said, it doesn't just change the way our technology or our treatment looks, but it changes the way we can care for people who have disabilities. So, for example, this would be a traditional cranial band that has been used. Really hasn't changed much since about 1979. So we thought we would have some fun with that and redesign the way that that's being provided to patients, in this case babies who have plagiocephaly like you talked about. So we were able to design a much thinner, lighter weight treatment option for babies and families. The interesting thing is that it allows us to treat them much younger, so we get better correction, and oftentimes babies only wear it at night instead of all day long like the traditional one. So you can see it changes the way we treat, not just the way the treatment looks.
That's about all the time we have today. Thank you so much
Thanks
for
having
joining
me.
us.
All right.
The BC Kidney Walk is on Sunday. Raja Shergill talked to a group of friends about why a recent tragedy made this year's walk so important.
This was at our grad in 2015.
As Sonia Mann looks back at pictures of her best friend Karen Desi, she can't help but reminisce.
I went to go visit her after her kidney transplant, and just seeing her, she was excited for the future, the beginning of her new life.
It was just over a month ago when 19-year-old Karen Desi's body was found in a burning vehicle. The motive unclear, suspects still at large.
Yeah, it was probably one of my best days with her.
In honor of Karen, friends and family formed Karen's Angels to help others with their battle against kidney disease.
I think if she were here today, she would be probably doing it with us.
This year is the 10th anniversary of the walk.
The Kidney Walk is a great opportunity for communities all around the province to come together. And of course, it is that fundraising. It's a major fundraising campaign. It's a signature fundraising campaign for the Kidney Foundation. So it provides an opportunity for those communities to be raising funds for an important cause.
She was never upset. If you didn't know Karen and you just saw her by face or briefly met her, you would never be able to tell that she was going through all of these health issues. She put up a very strong front, and she was very hopeful.
Karen's Angels are also collecting donations, with all the proceeds going to the Canadian Kidney Association. Raja Shergill, BCIT Magazine.
A Burnaby resident wants the city to change a bylaw so she can build a laneway home. Miranda Frater found out why the issue still hits close to home.
This is the yard where Lucia Abrio wants to build a laneway home, but Burnaby doesn't allow it. Abrio started a petition to change the bylaw. Abrio isn't looking for rental income. She wants her son to live on the property to help care for her aging mother.
It would be nice if my son and his family can come and live here with me,
And in the same lot, if I could build a laneway home, then we will be close, but everyone could have their space.
Current city bylaws prevent homeowners like Abrio from building laneways on their property. Other municipalities, such as Vancouver, have already passed bylaws to allow these homes. Burnaby City Council says in an email it all comes down to reviewing the city's official community plan, which could take years. Review of any specific land use issue, such as laneway housing, will occur later in the process after we have completed the necessary research and analysis. For Abrio, that's just not fast enough.
I talked to the Burnaby City Hall about it, and their response was that it's going to take a long time because they need to change the bylaw and everything, and I really don't have much time to wait.
While Abrio waits for updates on the bylaw and collects signatures, she says she just wants to give her mother the same care that she gave to her.
She worked really hard to keep us as a family and everything, and now it's payback time for me.
Abrio plans on meeting with City Hall to further discuss her petition. Miranda Fatour in Burnaby for BCIT Magazine.
Joins us live in Burnaby. Miranda, how many people have signed this petition?
Well, so far, 160 people have signed the petition. Lucia does plan on standing outside of local stores to gather more signatures. Trevor?
And Miranda, how large does Lucia want her laneway home to be?
Lucia says she'll accept whatever the city might allow. Currently in Vancouver, laneways can be up to 900 square feet. Back to you.
The average Canadian creates almost 500 kilos of waste per year. Gabriella Picaro shows how one local store wants to lighten the load.
Lynn Truong is the owner of the soap dispensary. She decided to open this store because she used to go to one in Victoria and couldn't find anything similar when she moved to Vancouver.
We were across the street in a tiny little shop, and we were strictly a soap and beauty products and DIY supply store.
She now finds the demand for stores like this is growing. Just this past weekend, Truong doubled the size of her store.
Our goal was to help divert as much plastic waste and packaging as possible. We really are trying to offer an alternative way to shop and also carry better quality plastic-free products.
Stores like these can help you reduce waste from products you're going to buy anyways, like soaps and shampoos. Just bring your own container to fill or get one from them.
I love their concept of being able to refill quality products in containers that you reuse. I already buy a lot of the products that they sell or that they refill here, so it's nice that I don't have to buy a new container every time.
When you come in for a refill, containers are weighed in before, so you pay only for the product. Lynn thinks that with green initiatives like this one, they can help create more consciousness about plastic pollution. According to Statistics Canada, 67% of the country's waste ends up in a landfill. As one person alone generates almost 3 kilos of garbage per day, these landfills could reach their capacity soon. Gabriela Procaro in Vancouver for BCIT Magazine.
Coming up on BCIT Magazine, the BC Lions try to get back on track.
And a new workshop helps a community in Vancouver revive their culture.
I chose BCIT because I know that all the programs are very hands-on. We have our own radio station, it's one of the best programs that I've ever heard of.
I am starting a job on Monday, so confidence is high.
Honestly, I didn't think it was going to be this fun.
Standby graphics, ready camera one.
If you want to experience the fast-paced world of news,
today on BCIT Magazine, striking,
make magic on a movie set,
frame,
and action, or bring your creative ideas to life, BCIT's hands-on training will get you started. BCIT Television and Video Production. Your possibilities start here.
Oh, hi there. I was just enjoying a quiet moment on the riverbank.
And if you want to learn more about rivers, Burnaby Village Museum is hosting a special celebration for World Rivers Day this Sunday. Get your running gear on and head out to Burnaby Lake Park Sunday morning for the Rhythm of Life Run and Walk for Everyone. The event raises money for Burnaby Hospital's Healthy Heart program. Whew. The Vancouver Symphony Orchestra kicks off their season with performances Friday and Saturday night at the Orpheum.
The BC Lions are in the middle of a disappointing season. My co-anchor, Trevor Knapp, has the latest on how the team plans to get back on track.
A gloomy day at the BC Lions practice facility in Surrey. Fitting, as the BC Lions have lost 4 out of their last 5 games. To say the team is struggling is an understatement. Lions quarterback Jonathan Jennings has especially felt the brunt of a tough campaign in 2017. After a breakout year in 2016, Jennings is definitely focused on going back to the fundamentals, starting with practice.
It's huge right now, just making sure that we're all on the same page and in sync with what we're doing, getting repetition with throws and making sure that our minds are clear. So repetitions are always big for us, and getting those reps are huge.
Lions head coach Wally Wano has seen the highs and lows of many CFL quarterbacks during his long tenure in the league. He says it all comes down to Jennings and his teammates executing their play calls.
It's execution, guys. It's execution. It's execution. Execution makes everything that you call good. Execution makes everything bad if you don't execute it, right?
The Lions have built the reputation of being known as British Columbia's most successful pro sports organization. But attendance numbers have dropped significantly since 2011, as fan support is fading fast. What used to be 30,000 plus roaring fans packing BC Place is now pure fiction. The Lions' next chance to get back on a winning track and influence fan interest begins Friday when they host Hamilton at BC Place. Trevor Knapp for BCIT Magazine. The annual Terry Fox runs are happening around the province next week, but as Matt Britton reports, many post-secondary students aren't up to speed on the event.
No, I did not run the Terry Fox run. I did know because I was walking around Stanley Park and there's a couple people running.
I didn't know about the Terry Fox run yesterday, so I didn't run it.
This week marks the 37th anniversary of Terry Fox's Marathon of Hope. But it seems not all post-secondary students know about it.
So I did not run the Terry Fox run. I actually didn't know it was happening this weekend, so that's why I didn't do it.
That was the same thing. I had no news about it.
The Fox name can be found all over the Lower Mainland. The Terry Fox Library in Port Coquitlam, the Terry Fox Town Square in downtown Vancouver. The second Sunday after Labor Day has even been labeled Terry Fox Day.
We recreated this lemonade stand right down to the hand.
Donna White organizes runs all over BC, including Port Coquitlam, Terry's hometown.
We hope that by the time you come out of high school and you've had 12 years of learning Terry's story and being ingrained in Terry's story, that you now have that want and the desire to continue and to be a part of it by coming out to the community run.
On September 17th, there are 116 runs in BC and 700 in Canada. There are also Terry Fox runs in South America, Europe, and in Asia. But only a handful of post-secondary institutions in BC, including SFU, organize a Terry Fox run.
So we're working to try and get more events out there because, yeah, we do realize there is a bit of a disconnect.
The rest of BC schools will be holding their own runs throughout the next 2 weeks. Mac Britton in Vancouver for BCIT Magazine.
Hundreds of volunteers helped clean up local shorelines last weekend. Isabella Zavarisi talked to organizers about the garbage on our shores.
Elaine Shue is one of 300 volunteers participating in the Great Canadian Shoreline Cleanup at Iona Beach.
The more you get into it, the more you think you got the sense of urgency that you want to be involved and you want to contribute as a person.
The cleanup is an initiative of the Vancouver Aquarium and WWF Canada and is Canada's largest volunteer-powered conservation cleanup program. The Vancouver Aquarium's Katrina Wilson says the biggest problem in our oceans today is plastic.
Problem with plastic is that it becomes smaller and smaller and smaller. When it's out there in the ocean, it photodegrades. Exposed to light, breaks down into smaller particles. And animals like whales eat it. Turtles, other marine mammals get stuck inside plastic strapping materials. And it's a big problem for animals on our very own coast here in BC.
According to the organization, the majority of litter removed from shorelines is man-made. Cigarettes and plastic water bottles are the most common items washed ashore. For volunteer Elaine Shue, the cleanup has sharpened her concerns for her environmental footprint.
I will never leave any garbage behind, right? And number two is everywhere you go, you're more conscious in terms of recycling, like which bin you put to. So before, I never thought about it.
Amongst the bags of litter gathered, a message in a bottle was recovered.
It says help.
For Shue, the message is simple: respect your environment. Isabella Zavrisi in Richmond for BCIT Magazine.
A local group is trying to foster a sense of community among First Nations women in Vancouver. My co-anchor Katy has a story on a workshop bringing these women together.
These women are hoping that this workshop can help them pass along the knowledge of their culture. They're making baby moccasins for the children in their lives.
The ladies here are learning how to make the tongue or the vamp, how to bead onto the vamp. And that's just so they can learn how to make the baby moccasins and to pass on that knowledge to someone else if they'd like.
The workshop is part of a program called Indigenous Women Rise. It's completely free to join and participate. The Indigenous women feel activities like this build solidarity.
I just had a grandson, so I want to be able to pass on what I'm doing and learning to my kids.
The workshop provides an opportunity for women to reconnect with their culture.
I didn't think it was when I was younger, but as I've aged, I realized that my heritage is very important to me, and so I think that I want to be able to pass that on to my kids as they're younger.
This is the first of 3 workshops. They begin with making the bead pattern.
I am making these moccasins to reclaim my culture. I recently spoke to a friend who said that he made and gave moccasins to his new grandchildren, and I thought, wow, that's such an awesome idea.
The next steps involve cutting and sewing the material for the moccasins. The finished product will be ready in a couple weeks. Katy in Vancouver for BCIT Magazine. Burnaby police are looking for a gas thief who allegedly drilled a hole into a car's fuel tank. A local woman was driving home from work when her car stopped in the middle of the road. Firemen called to the scene discovered a hole had been drilled into the tank. The suspect is still at large. Thanks for watching BCIT Magazine. I'm Katy.
And I'm Trevor Knapp. We leave you now with a look at the Happy Herd Rescue Farm in Langley.